Hey everyone, welcome to the Tall King Reviews. I'm Cody, this is Kevin,
Hello.
and we're just talking. We just saw Doctor Sleep. Now and
Whoa.
now we're gonna talk about it.
Hey guys, remember The Shining? Did you
Yeah.
ever think there would be a sequel? Neither did we, but here we are
It,
reviewing Doctor Sleep.
oh man. Ewan McGregor.
Yeah.
He's an older Danny from the original Shining. And they do this funny thing in the movie where they have actors from uh they have scenes set in the past. So you see right off the bat, you see a young Danny, and it's very clearly not the same actor, right? They recast him, which makes sense. Um, there's a lot of scenes like that though, where it's just like it's not the same actor, and I'm instantly pulled out of it. You
Yeah.
know,
Well, what if you had never seen it?
if I'd never seen The Shining, I think
Yeah.
I'd be very confused by this film
Really?
because it's. I think so. I think it's pretty. It seems pretty far up its ass with Shining references and things of that nature.
You think
If you
so?
had, yeah, if you had never seen The Shining and didn't know really anything about it, I feel like you'd be like, "What's all this? What's all the flashy imagery and stuff like that from past scenes?" That it makes no sense out of context.
Yeah. I don't know. I disagree a little bit with you.
Yeah,
I think if you go into this blind and then you watch Shining afterward, it'll click more, but I don't think you need to have fully seen it beforehand.
I think
I
so.
think,
Especially the finale. I would say. I think
well,
the
yeah, the
finale
finale
is.
is very fan servicey.
It's all fan service.
Yeah,
I just think, yeah, I think it's like weird out of context of the first film. I think a lot of it works on its own, but then they just feel the need to pepper in these weird fan servicey moments. Sometimes they work, and sometimes they're clearly just as fan service, and that's where I
yeah,
think the movie really starts to fall apart, especially because towards the end it becomes so reliant on those things.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, was that the summary?
yeah, that was the summary of the movie.
Yeah, we just gave away the end. No
No.
spoilers.
I didn't say anything about it. It just depends. It's just dependent on it. That's it. It doesn't
Yeah,
spoil the end.
yeah. I uh, I will say I did like the whole build up until the end. I uh, I liked Ewan McGregor as Danny Boy. I
So you
thought
liked
he.
it up until the end?
Well, no, I still like the end, but not as much as the build.
Oh, you even liked the end?
I didn't mind it. Yeah,
Really? So you like this movie?
I did like it.
Damn, I completely disagree. I
Yeah.
think this movie sucked.
All right. Cool. Why? Why do you
Is
think it
this the
sucked?
first movie that we've disagreed on?
It might be.
I think it is. Uh, I think it sucked because it is fine if you are able to the aspects of it that are not directly related to The Shining, the first film,
Hmm.
are fine, but in context as a sequel to The Shining, I think they're really lame. I hate so there's a kind of cult that is using they're using people with The Shining to extend their life. So they're sucking their soul out basically. And that whole gang of misfits I think is really lame. I just don't I the leader, she's a good actress. I think she did a good job. And there's moments with her that I enjoyed, but overall I think that whole concept of this just pack of kind of freaks wandering around is super lame, especially in context with the first movie. The first movie is all about buildup of tension,
Hmm.
right? It's tense throughout the whole thing, and then it just kind of starts to crescendo gradually throughout the film. This one is more just it shows you exactly what the threat is. It shows you these band of freaks, and you know everything about them. You get a lot of scenes that are just with these characters. So there's no tension with them because you understand exactly what they're capable of. You understand everything about them. You understand their plans. They detail their plans throughout the film. So it's not like they're doing anything that's surprising. They're doing exactly what they say they're going to do. I just think that you lose a lot of tension that way.
Really.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's other
Mm.
stuff that I think loses the tension a lot, but we'll go into spoilers on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, just as far as what they reveal, how much they reveal of the bad guys, I thought that was really lame and lost a lot of the tension.
Interesting. See, I actually kind of like that they spent a lot of time with the villains. Like I felt these are some of the more like fleshed out villains that we've seen. You understand their motives clearly, what they're doing, why they're doing all the stuff that they're doing,
Mm-hmm.
even if it is grotesque at times.
Interesting.
And yeah, I liked the, was it Rose the Hat?
Oh
Was her
yeah, that
name?
was her name in the movie. Yeah, they all had
Yeah,
weird names like that. Yeah.
right.
Uh,
I quite liked her
I think
as the villain.
I think it stops being believable very quickly when they not believable because they have the Shining. It's
Yeah.
they're telepathic, telekinetic people. It's not believable, but believable that these people would turn so quickly into this just awful thing that they're doing. I mean, they're kidnapping kids predominantly, killing them, and then taking the Shining from them. I
Well,
don't know. It's very grotesque and gruesome, and the turn that they have from the girl that they induct very early on, it's very quick that she's like totally down for it, and it seems like there would be more of a resistance to it, but she seems down very quickly.
right.
I
Yeah.
thought that was weird.
That is something I'll agree with you on.
Yeah.
She seemed to have turned pretty
And
quick,
and she's like
and she
taking
was
pleasure in it. It's not that she's like kind of hesitant, right? She's like, no, she's totally into it.
right. And like the way they established that character, oh, who was it? Was it the Pusher? Right. I think that's what they labeled her.
I thought she was the snake. The right? The
Who,
snake?
the young
The young
the young
one,
chick? No,
yeah.
yeah, she's the Pusher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because she's able to push
Push
people to do
people, yeah.
things. Yeah.
I did like that they each kind of had their own things that they were good at.
Yeah. They each have their own abilities.
Kind of. We only get to see like two of them though, right?
Yeah.
And then there's all these background people that are kind of like, we're here too.
Yeah. I think they just kind of stumbled upon this thing, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Well, I guess I'll be here and join whatever you guys are doing." So
All right, so you like the villains. I didn't like the villains as much, and I thought the main characters weren't very good either. I wanted to like Ewan McGregor because I love Ewan McGregor. I think he's a fantastic actor. He's doing an American accent in this movie, and I don't know freaking what it is. We've had I don't remember what it was that we watched before, but we had this issue before where some actors when they try to do an American accent, it just sounds a bit off. And with Ewan specifically, it was more just that he would say things and it's like, did you mean it to come off that way? Did you want to deliver your line that way, or were you more focused on trying to perfect the American accent? I got that in more than a few scenes, and that's
yeah,
kind of an issue.
I heard that as well.
And I love Ewan McGregor. I wanted to like him in this. There's early on in the film, he's got the beard, and I was just pretending that I was watching a really down on his luck Obi-Wan Kenobi trying to blend in. And he's doing the American accent so that he's not giving himself away.
Right.
You know, he's doing drugs and drinking alcohol to get the thoughts of all of his killed Jedi out of his head.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that part. just pretending I was watching
adding
Obi-Wan
this backstory.
movie. Yeah, I loved it.
It's the wrong sequel.
But yeah, I wanted to like Ewan McGregor more than I actually did. And the little girl she's a very powerful in The Shining, and that's why this group wants her. She has this problem that some kids have in movies where she's just a little adult. She doesn't come off as a child at all. She's not scared for a lot of these scenes in situations that I think a child very much would be. She just comes off as a little adult, and you get that another area where you just lose tension because even the child, right, the person who is kind of people can use manipulatively in these types of films to get sympathy for easily.
Mm-hmm.
When even she's not really terrified in these scenarios, then it's like, well, what am I supposed to feel? It almost didn't feel like a horror movie because of that. Not because of that specifically, because of a lot of things, a lot of the tension dissolution.
Yeah, well, it's more of like a slow build up until
I don't think it was a slow build up.
the finale.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Not as far as tension's concerned. No, I don't think so at all. It was more just like they would pepper in the tension here and there, and sometimes it worked okay, sometimes not really.
Right. It's just by slow build, I mean like they introduced all these things and it all adds up to where they're going for the finale.
Fair enough. I disagree with that too, but we'll talk about that in spoilers.
All right.
I thought the editing and the cinematography for the most part was pretty good. There's a few scenes specifically that I think of that There's a part where the villain character is telepathically sending her mind out, and she's kind of soaring over the earth, and it because of the context, because we know she's doing this kind of in her head, sending her soul out over the earth to search for this girl. It looks really cool, and I think if it was a different movie where it was like she had superpowers and she was flying or something like that, it would look off. But because of the context, it's like, oh no, it looks off actually kind of helps it, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I quite like that scene.
That might have been my favorite scene in the movie.
Yeah,
I liked it a lot.
I'll have to agree with that one.
But yeah, it's not even just that it's a sequel to The Shining, it's that it's so dependent on The Shining to just be referential for seemingly no reason. The way that it tries to tie directly to that first movie, I think it's just incredibly poor, and it's not integrated into the story well at all, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't mind it terribly. It's just I kind of wish it was more of its own thing.
Sure.
But I think whatever they did use to tie it wasn't like the worst thing I could have imagined. I felt it all kind of tied together.
I thought it sucked. We're skirting around a lot of things here because I think
Yes.
we just want to talk about it freely. So let's just give our ratings. What would you rate it?
I'd give it a probably 6.5.
6.5. I think I'd give it below average a 4. I do not recommend it for anyone.
Yeah, I would.
All right, there you
It's
go. Thumbs
yeah.
down from me, thumbs up from Kevin.
Yes.
So we're getting into spoilers now. Click away if you don't want to get spoiled for this cool movie. I don't think this is going to do well, though, honestly.
I don't
feel
think
like there's
so
not
either.
a lot of hype for
No.
Doctor Sleep.
Marketing it as Doctor Sleep too, and not really like, The Shining presents Doctor Sleep.
I don't even know that
It's-
would matter, honestly, just because I don't know that there's that many people that... Like, I know The Shining's beloved, but I think it is more of a cult hit.
Yeah.
Even back in the day, I don't think it did super well. So I don't know that there's this big, expansive fan base of The Shining to begin with, especially after all these years.
And so the reason I also rated the movie where I did, I kind of went into it thinking it wouldn't be another Shining movie in that sense. Like it wouldn't be the same kind of beat of the first movie.
And if it had committed to that, I would have liked it more. It's that it didn't, that I was harder on it. If it was kind of just like, yeah, this is Danny, this is him growing up, and he's just out there doing this thing with this weird group of people, and we're not gonna we're in spoilers now. We're not gonna go back to the hotel for the finale for no reason. For absolutely no reason. It was so pointless.
You don't think there was a reason?
There wasn't. There was
I
not.
do.
The reason that he went back was so that he could unlock those paths in his head and have all the people attack him.
Right.
But we've clearly seen that those people can exist outside of the hotel. We see it at the beginning of the movie. We see it at the end. And we even see it in the hospital when he's working as a janitor. We see that he opens the door and he sees the friendly black man from the first movie there, and he's getting ready to put him in the box, so these people can exist outside of the hotel. He did not need to go back to the hotel in it. So even in the world, it doesn't make sense that they need to go back there. Even in universe, it doesn't make sense, right? So there's that level of it. But even outside of that, right? Let's say that loop, that plot hole wasn't there. Let's say that was clean, right? They didn't show any of that stuff. It still just feels so like we gotta go back to the first movie stuff. We can't just, we can't just go forward. We have to go back to the first movie. We got to do the helicopter shot of the island, just like the first movie opened. We got to do all the music again. We got to and it's like I feel something, it's like, oh, this is cool because it's stuff I'm familiar with, but it's not cool because you're showing me anything new. It's just because I like The Shining and that's it.
Yeah, I didn't really think about how they can exist outside of the hotel.
Yeah.
Well, here's a little fun fact for you.
Give it to me. I love fun facts.
I haven't read the book,
No,
The Shining, or Doctor Sleep, but I do know at the end of The Shining, the hotel, I can't remember if it blows up or burns down.
Oh, yeah. For some reason, I was thinking that it actually burned down at the end of the movie, but it didn't.
No, it zooms in on Jack Nicholson
Frozen,
frozen in the picture.
right?
Yeah.
Or no, not frozen in the picture. Oh, yeah. He's in the picture. You're right. Yeah. I
Yeah.
was picturing when he's in the outside in the cold and he dies, and he's making that weird face for some reason.
Yeah. So I think
In the book, it burns down.
right.
Okay, so that must not be in the book at all.
No, it's
Yeah.
not a yeah, I was
Well,
reading
that makes a lot of sense. Honestly, yeah.
I was reading the plot of the book, and
Mhm.
it's kind of interesting what differences they did there.
Of Doctor
Like
Sleep.
yeah, so in the book, the group of villains, they capture somebody and then they take their shining,
Right.
but they get infected with a disease, which I thought was kind of interesting. Here they just seem to
It's
like
kind of in there though, because they have to keep eating or consuming
Right.
the soul, or
But-
else they'll die. Right.
right, but it's like they contracted some kind of like not cancer,
Something else
but
on
it's
top of that.
like some kind of measles or something,
Oh.
like an actual
A
human
real
disease.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Weird.
Yeah, so I thought the changes that they made in the movie were kind of, I don't know, because what is it? They
Well,
had to combine like
doing-
three
that-
different
that-
source materials,
That
right?
totally makes sense though that the hotel at the end wasn't in the book, because it feels so fan service. That feels like a studio thing. You know, it feels like we got to put the hotel in. It's from The Shining. We got to
Yeah.
get that in. We got to shove that in there. You know what I mean? Like that
Right.
feels like
And
more of
then-
a studio thing.
And then they actually do burn it down at the end.
Right.
So
they're
now
kind of
it's all,
combining the
Full circle, I suppose.
right. Sure.
Yeah, I'm sure the plot of the book would have been a much better
Yeah.
ending.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe he messed it up. Stephen King is actually known for not doing good endings.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I also just like, I don't know, dude. They go to the hotel and then the lady comes and she walks by the elevators and the door opens and the blood comes out for no reason.
Right, yeah.
For no reason.
I agree.
Yeah.
I was confused.
We can't show you something new. We just got to show you exactly what you saw in the first. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they could have done new stuff in the hotel, but no,
Right.
it's all the old stuff we've already seen.
Yeah.
So boring.
And I don't understand the rules of how Like-
the rules are all over the place. in
yeah,
this
like
movie.
what if you get like was it possessed? I don't really know what the term is. Cuz what is it?
Oh,
All
Ewan
the
McGregor.
right, all the ghosts
Yeah.
take over the chick.
They kill her.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they take over him as well, but he can kind
No,
of
well, they kill her, and then like she explodes, doesn't she?
Oh
Just, like,
yeah,
does
she
a- yeah, yeah.
disintegrates, that's right.
And then with him, yeah, they like. It seems like they're gonna do the same thing, but then the hotel possesses him, is what they say.
Yeah.
And for some reason, that he's doing the limp thing, just like Jack Nicholson, and he's
Well,
got the axe.
I
and
mean,
it's
because
like-
he just got the axe dug into his leg.
I know, but it's like
I know.
it's just-
it's the callback.
it's just a callback. You know what I mean? It's not anything meaningful.
right.
It's just a callback, which is a lot of this movie, dude. It's actually okay. I take that back. It's not a lot of this movie. It's the end, and then it's some stuff at the beginning.
Yeah.
But it's so hammered home at the end that it really sucks everything else out of this movie for me. And even the other stuff, right? I don't think I'd be nearly as hard on the freaks if this was not related to The Shining, or if it was tangentially related to The Shining. Instead, they feel like they have to shove that stuff in there, and that just brings it down a lot for me.
Yeah. I don't know. I felt like the motives behind the backstory of The Shining kind of made sense.
Interesting.
Because what is it? All the what is it? I don't know what it's called. Steam, right? That's what they call it.
They call it steam, yeah.
Yeah.
The
Their
life
steam,
essence.
is it gets is it stronger or more pure with fear?
Right. Fear and pain.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, because people seem like nowadays, people seem to be weaker with their steam. They have to resort to more grotesque methods in
Yeah.
order to stay alive.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. That scene really. I'm not usually like the one to say this is. I'm not usually the mom on the committee saying that we shouldn't have violence in films, but that scene was a bit much with the little kid when
Oh,
they're she
yeah.
we don't see it, but she stabs a knife into him and he's got blood all over his face.
Yeah,
It
that
just it
was,
was a lot,
man, I
especially
was
with a kid.
tense. Yeah,
I don't know. I thought that was a bit much. I don't know if we needed to have all the kid torture.
it is a bit much.
Yeah.
Um, but what they're doing makes sense because
Sure.
it's in order to get a more potent dose, you need to enact that fear and pain.
Don't you think it's weird though that girl is so quickly is totally into all this?
Yeah,
It's not even that she's into it, right? She's like she enjoys it.
yeah.
She enjoys all this stuff they're doing, and it's like
because okay,
this is. I understand, like maybe you begrudgingly go along with it because you want to live forever, but yeah, I don't
No,
know. That came off as strange to me.
right. I liked her setup.
Sure.
But yeah, because what is it? She's in the theater and she's kind of meeting up with people who know that she's underage and they want to,
Yeah.
do the dirty thing with her.
Right.
Right. But she ends up hypnotizing them in a sense. And then
she robs them, I think.
And then she robs them. Yeah. So she has some kind of moral compass, whether or not it's skewed a bit.
I don't know if that's a moral it's
Not
like, that you could say that's like, justice served or something.
Right.
I don't know if it's the most ethical thing to do.
It's not at all.
But yeah, I enjoyed that introduction.
Yeah, I felt with her character, if she had, I don't know, taken longer to turn or been more
something more to her.
Yeah, because we just get a little blip of her, and then all of a sudden, okay, I guess I'm gonna join now because I'm given a deal that I can't refuse.
Right.
Kind of.
Was I wrong in saying that the only characters we get to see their abilities are the main girl and then her? Do we get to see anyone else's abilities, or is it just the two of them? Do we see the guy that her like kind of first in command? Do we see him do anything? I don't think so. I
don't know. Yeah,
I feel like it's just them two, which is kind of a missed opportunity when you have this new girl come in who's got these special. You have these characters that have these special abilities. They're like the X-Men.
Right. Well, they're just kind of. Are they all just grunts? I suppose.
Well, yeah, but it would have been more interesting to flesh out some of these other characters more. If that's the route you're gonna take, if we're just gonna put these bad guys in the light and reduce all the tension that way, then flesh them. Give everyone a little something, Yeah. Don't just have these 2 or 3 characters and they're the only ones that do anything. Everyone else was pretty pathetic when that fight came down.
Yeah, they kind of got eliminated pretty quick.
Yeah, they really did. When the guy killed himself, I saw that coming.
Oh yeah,
Ewan McGregor's like, get away, and he's like, oh no, I want to look at the pretty lady die.
Gosh, yeah, what a fool.
Idiot, he deserved to die.
Well, also, like, okay, when they were, like, digging up that kid, the baseball kid,
right.
Like...
Oh, that was so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really weird.
Like, oh, man, yeah, that whole scene, that whole interaction was kind of odd to me, because it was like, okay, well, I mean, I know that, he can kind of, he has a feeling about people, so I kind of thought he had The Shining. I thought he was going to talk to him telepathically at first, but no, he's just a normal dude.
He's just a normal dude,
and he's like, hey, did I ever tell you about when I was hunting? Like, what? No. Why didn't you establish that earlier?
Gotta fill time there. Yeah, I remember thinking that during that scene, like, this feels extraneous.
Yeah, it's just, yeah, I'm a hunter and I have guns. It's like, okay, yeah, let's use those.
Cool, dude, thanks.
Yeah, I don't know.
That'll come in handy later.
They could have built that in a little more in the story.
But also, I said this in the theater to you, that guy would totally assume that Ewan McGregor had killed this kid and buried him there.
Right.
Because he knew exactly where it was. It's like, dude, I'm calling the police. Also, I thought it was a little weird so the guy, he finds the body, right? And then he goes and throws up. Okay. Makes sense. Ewan McGregor does the same thing. I thought that was weird because not only is he around dead people a lot in his job, but he also sees dead people just because of his gift. So I thought that was kind of just weird that he had a reaction to it. When earlier in the movie, he was in bed with a dead baby. You remember that?
Yeah, that was good. I like
It
that.
had this CGI lips moves. Yeah.
Mm,
Just strange to me that he wouldn't be like, desensitized to all that.
right. I think it was more so just the method in which it was done and the smell more
Awesome.
so.
Oh, maybe it was the smell. Yeah.
Yeah, because they
Yeah.
commented on the smell.
Oh, okay. You
He's
might be
like,
right about that. Yeah.
because his buddy's like, oh yeah, when I was hunting, was it deer or buck or something? He's
Something.
like, oh,
Not
I found it
kids.
in a tree and it had been rotting. He's like, it's this. This is the same smell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Thank
was
God we
actually
don't have
hunting young boys. I
yeah.
forgot to tell you.
He just pulls the gun out on him, McGregor.
All right, so we got to talk about the use of different actors for the characters from the past film.
Yeah.
I thought it worked a lot more for the mom. She looks a lot like the actress that played the original mother.
Yeah.
Definitely, I could tell right away it was different because I was questioning whether or not they were going to use CG or not. And then we see her, and it's like, okay, they're just recasting people.
Yeah.
Makes sense for her. Later in the movie, Jack Nicholson's character shows up. He's doing the whole bartender thing. And it's just it's so off-putting that it's not Jack Nicholson.
Yeah. I'll agree because it only became apparent to me through the dialogue that was his dad, and it took
Really?
it took a while.
Oh, I knew even before they showed him because he says something.
Well, right. So before they show him, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
it's Jack Nicholson.
Oh,
and then,
okay.
And then they pull
yeah.
out, and I'm like, wait, who is this?
So you were like, oh, it's going to be Jack Nicholson. And then they showed him and you're like, oh, no, it's not. Who is this guy?
But then he's like, oh,
he's got Jack Nicholson's
Dad?
hair. That's
Yeah,
kind of weird.
I'd smelled this. I had the same smell at our house.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's the
It's supposed to be Jack.
Yeah, it's the doppelganger, I suppose.
It's so funny because he like kind of looks like him, but he doesn't. It just looks off.
Yeah,
It's off. It takes you out of it, I think.
See, man, and that's where I feel like if it were its own thing,
Yeah,
it'd be better.
sure.
You know, if you had never been introduced to his dad and then you see him
Yeah.
there, I feel that impact would have hit harder with him and his alcoholism.
Mm-hmm. And it's another moment too where it's like, man, should they have used CG to de-age people in this, or would that have been off-putting too? Because sometimes it doesn't look right. You know, we've seen like Rogue One, Moff Tarkin and Leia. They looked really off. If it looks like that, then it's like, should you even try, or is it gonna look good? Because we just saw in Terminator Genesis they had Sarah Connor de-aged and she looked flawless. You know, so
Right.
it can be done. It's just, can you make it look that good or not?
Probably not.
Yeah, and if
I'm
not,
sure-
then maybe it is better to just recast. But then you recast, and either way, we're going to be complaining about it. I feel there's
Yeah.
no winning.
Yeah, you can't win with us.
Yeah, assholes. They reshot some of the scenes from The Shining with these actors too,
Yeah.
and that's also just like, why? Just to show, just throwing more. You know, this is The Shining. Remember The Shining? Remember The Shining? You like The Shining, right?
Well, this is not that movie.
This is not that movie, but it's you like The Shining, don't you?
I know you do. Here's the elevator scene for your kid.
Hey kid, you like The Shining? I got some Dr. Sleep for you.
Oh man, and they name dropped Doctor Sleep halfway through the movie.
They did, yeah, that was funny.
Yeah.
Weird.
Apparently, another fun fact for you.
Yeah, give it to me.
Um,
I like you have these fun facts. This is good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or what was it? Stephen King, he was torn between writing a couple books, and one of them was Doctor Sleep. And the idea that sparked it was he's like, there was a cat in a hospital,
Okay.
and it would go around and kind of pick who was gonna die, right?
Yeah.
And
Good
then,
idea.
right?
I
And
liked
then
that, yeah.
he's like, you know what? I'm gonna throw Danny Boy in there,
Oh, Danny.
and he's gonna be helping the old people. And that was the whole.
Danny likes cats.
So yes, he does. That was kind of the whole the spark for this movie.
Right.
I mean, the book more so.
The book,
but
yeah. In the
yeah.
movie as well.
kind of an odd turning point. I would, man, I don't know, man. If I were about to die right in a hospital, and then some dude's like, "Hey, man, calm down.
Yeah, that would kill
You're
me
gonna die. I'd be
immediately.
like, yeah, I'd have a heart attack and that's
yeah.
it. But the scene where we're introduced to it, the guy is like very calm
Right.
and like at
he
peace.
takes comfort in it. Yeah.
Right.
Which, yeah, I would not.
Oh man, I'd be freaking out, man.
You're
I'm
a
like,
telepath.
oh my God, you're a demon.
Professor Xavier, you taking me away to be an X-Man?
Take me away.
Charles.
Yeah. So that's another
That was good.
little tidbit for you.
That scene, to talk a little bit more about that scene I liked, because I really did like it a lot. That scene where she's flying over the sky.
As did I.
Transitions into the house, very cool. And then they introduce the concept of your mind is like a library, right? And the little girl turns it on her and goes into her mind. She's looking through her library. Her hand is stuck in that drawer. She's pulling it out. So visceral.
Oh yeah. So
I really
good.
enjoyed that scene, but to have the negative in there, when you turn this little girl and you make her so powerful, that gets rid of a lot of tension, in my opinion, because she's clearly way more powerful than even these trained people. She turned it on this lady that infiltrated her mind. Now she's infiltrating hers. It makes it just so much more like, why are we supposed to be scared when the protagonist is so much more powerful than the villain?
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
And they rectify that a little bit. They dose her up, right? They make her fuzzy, so that's okay. Reintroduce tension, but then she's fine again. And it's just the one lady left, and it's like, I don't understand why you guys are scared. Clearly, you two should be able to take her on by yourselves. But no, we gotta go to the hotel. We gotta see the scene with the blood again. You remember the blood?
Yeah,
You remember the twins?
He goes and he just wakes up the whole hotel, even though there's who's there? What, his dad? Right? That's really about it.
Yeah.
Right? And then the
they
other people come into
they don't address this, but there's also that in The Shining. There's that ballroom full of ghosts, but they don't matter.
No, they don't
make
talk
an
about
appearance.
that.
Yeah, it's just the spooky ones that we bring back. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, we gotta have the twins in there.
Gotta have the twins.
We gotta have that old lady in the bathtub.
Dude, oh my gosh. They showed the old lady in the bathtub so much that I could not believe that by the end I could not believe by the end they still do the scene where the little girl is in the room and she looks over and the bathtub's there and it's the faraway shot. She pulls it back and it's like, dude, we've literally seen this scene 3 times in this movie alone already. And you're doing it again.
Well, it's the bookend, you know? It's like, oh, Danny did it. She did it.
Danny did it. She did it. Yeah, but it's... No, I'm not talking about that one when they're in the hotel because they do it again.
Oh, yeah.
They do it again at the end. No, they do it in the hotel too.
That's right.
Where they mimic the exact shot from The Shining. But it's just like it's ridiculous to me that they're still trying to they're still trying to make this thing scary when they've shown it so many times in this movie. That really irritated me.
They did show it quite a bit.
Way too much. It was ridiculous. Okay, it's not scary when you show it this much and it's the exact same shot every time.
Yeah.
We know. She gets up out of the tub. Okay, yep. All right. They don't take it anywhere different.
No.
It always stops there, you know.
Yeah. What do they do after they close the door? I think they make out. What do you think?
Yeah, they make out. Yeah, I didn't like it. I'm glad you did though.
Yeah, I didn't mind it.
God bless.
But this isn't I don't know, this isn't like something if someone hadn't seen it and they're wanting to watch it, I'd be like, maybe we should try something else.
Yeah.
This movie is not.
I'd see Terminator Genesis.
Oh God,
not Genesis.
You're crazy.
The one that's in theaters. What is it?
Dark Fate.
I'd see Dark Fate over this again.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that movie very much.
Yeah. Yeah. No, this movie is
Would
not.
you agree? Because would you give this a 6.5?
No.
Is that what you gave it?
I gave it a 6.
You gave it a 6. Okay. Would you get Dark Fate?
6.5.
You gave it a 6. All right. Okay. All right. Well, it's congruent with your ratings then.
Yes.
You can walk away from this proud and
all right. If I did say 6.5, cut that and a half out. I'm pretty sure I did say 6.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. That's Dr. Sleep. Made me fall asleep almost.
Who?
Very
Yeah,
tired.
this one. God, I'm just throwing in a bunch of crap here at the end, but I do think it was a little too long.
Oh yeah,
They could have cut out some of that, but
the
you
ending.
know, I still stick with my rating.
Okay, fair enough. God bless.
That's what we thought about Doctor Sleep.
Yeah.
Be sure and like and subscribe
Like and
to our
subscribe.
channel.
Yeah. We are on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Stitcher. Go ahead and like and follow us there.
Yes, and thank you for listening to the Tall King with your ears.